And just like that, we're back, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog and welcome here to the absolute middle of nowhere, Alabama. Now, I filmed from Miami here to Alabama and I watched the footage in the hotel last night. It is so incredibly boring because nothing happened. I decided to can it because today, boys, we have something very, very exciting. We're headed to see Mr. 458 Destroyer in the beautiful state of Tennessee. Now, we put about 1,000 miles on the Countach already and it has been flawless. That being said, about an hour ago, I hit a tire coming off a semi. You can see we kind of sort of cracked the front bumper ever so slightly. You can see the rubber remnants right there too. So it's our first casualty of the trip. On a trip like this, when you put 3,000 miles on the car, you know something's gonna happen. If that's the only issue the entire journey, not a big deal, that can be repaired, but overall the car's been phenomenal. We currently have 17,451 kilometers on the Countach. Every single thing on this car is hard to put on. Even the seatbelt is difficult. Okay, so we're headed that way, that way, that way, and right there. Let's go, baby, let's go! Oh, yes! I love this, baby. The more and more miles I put on it, the better and better it gets. She's riding on rails right now. And welcome back to Gapplebee's Farm. The last time we were here, all the cars were in that garage. There's a new garage. Welcome to Mr. 458 Destroyer. Today is going to be an absolutely crazy day. Now, unfortunately, we only have 4 hours here at 458 Destroyers, so we got to manage the time appropriately. But the cars he has here are unlike any other cars. This is a 1 of 50 LFA Nurburgring. We have a Porsche Carrera GT. This Viper has approximately 2,600 horsepower. I don't think I'm quite qualified to drive that car. We got the 720S, we got the 2RS, we got the F40, the LaFerrari, the A12 GTS, the 458 Special. Now, most of you guys probably remember this LaFerrari. We swapped it there. Very nice, right? It sounds so much better. There's just something about this triple layer paint on the LaFerrari. So we're gonna take about 5 or 6 cars to go grab some food. A lot of people would argue that the LFA Nurburgring is the best sounding V10 in the world. It's so good. It's not a loud exhaust, but it's so pure, it's so sharp. That's nice. The LFA on cold start is kind of sort of underwhelming. Under no load is underwhelming, but as soon as you get this thing up to 9,000 RPMs, absolutely takes off. This thing sounds crazy, and the red interior is so good. What's funny about the LFA, it has a single clutch transmission. It kind of reminds me of the Aventador, but that scream is so good. That is so good. What? What's crazy about this car, there was a day not that long ago when one of these sold for like $350,000, and now, well, they're a lot more. This road is what dreams are made of, like to be following the straight pipe LaFerrari, a 458 Speciale, and to be just in no man's land. Like, this is the last place you would ever expect to see these cars. They always say don't meet your heroes, but in this scenario, LFA Nurburgring, chef's kiss. The key detail in this car, to really hear that V10, you gotta rev it all the way to 9,000. You cannot short shift this car because otherwise it doesn't sound that incredible. This lineup though, like, are you kidding me? And from the LFA Nurburgring to the 458 Speciale, this is one of the best sounding NA V8s in the entire world. This is basically my 458 on steroids, so we're gonna try to keep up. And go! Oh my gosh! This car is so good! That's 9,000 to the moon! And the downshifts are unbelievable! Call me a Ferrari guy, give me all the Ferrari merchandise! I need the trousers, I need the shirt, I need the watch, I need the Ferrari hat, because I bleed Ferrari. I tell you guys, they make the best cars in the world. They really do. They really do. LFA fanboys, don't hate me. I would reckon the 458 sounds just as good. Like, it's got 2 less cylinders, but that's just as good. Today is just one of those days that is so surreal. Like, we have an opportunity to drive some of the best driver's cars in the entire world. LFA Nurburgring, 458 Speciale, and come to daddy, the Ferrari F40. You know, we were gonna take the F40, and then I realized we have a 2,000 horsepower Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera. You know what, the F40 can wait, because ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 2008. So it's a twin turbo from Nth Moto. You know, sometimes cars start up and you just get your heart rate going. This is one of those cars. Starting to get the sweaty palms. This car is probably the fastest car I've ever ridden in. Yeah, quick moment of silence for my neck and my internals because this baby's fast. We're just gonna do a baby little acceleration just to get some heat in those RAAA tires. No big deal. This is 1,200 horsepower. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's a baby. I tell you guys, like, that compression on the chest right there, when those turbos spool up, goodness gracious, I cannot wait for my car to be done. This is mind-blowingly fast. You know, the Gallardo 2000 horsepower is very impressive, but I realized 2600 horsepower Viper is way, way more impressive. Any words of wisdom? 2600 horsepower.
No,
yes. The only thing keeping me alive are these Toyo R888s. Let's just pray for traction. Moment of silence for the traction. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Goodness. Now, we've been in some of the fastest cars in the world. Let's see, Bugatti Chiron Super Sport, Underground Racing Twin Turbo Lamborghini Huracan, the 2000 horsepower Superleggera we just rode in, but I don't think we've ever been in a car with 2600 horsepower. That's wheel horsepower too, so crank horsepower is what? 3000? I don't know. Forget the Gallardo V10, forget the GTR, forget the LFA. That's a 9-liter twin turbo Dodge Viper. The exhaust is directly underneath this seat. Are you kidding me? So that last hit was 1500. This is 1700 wheel horsepower. Oh my gosh! That is the craziest sensation ever! I don't even know how to describe it! I have no cognitive ability right now. All the blood just rushed in my head, but there is no thinking going on whatsoever. That hit so hard! God bless America! I can hear the bald eagles singing the Star-Spangled Banner. I need one! I'm not qualified to drive one, but I need one. This is insane. The craziest thing about this car, 458 Destroyer has had this. He's done over 1,000 hits and not one single hiccup. Shout out to the homies off at Nth Moto. I am blown away by this car. It's hard to even describe this car. It is the most brutal experience I've ever had in any car in my entire life. The only word I can think of to describe this car is violence. Like, this car is absolute torture. The Nth Moto Viper, I've never experienced anything quite like that. I gotta admit, I'm kind of dreading getting back on the Countach. Everything else we drove earlier today was so practical and so conservative, and this thing is just like a little pocket rocket. It is so uncomfortable, the clutch is so heavy, but yeah, the left chicken leg starting to grow. Starting to get bigger. Sophia's impressed, you guys should be too. I gotta admit, it doesn't get much more iconic than this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 1990. Lamborghini Countach chasing a Ferrari F40. I don't know if a Countach is quite up for the task. The Ferrari F40 is leagues above the Lamborghini Countach as far as performance. As far as cool factor, I'd say they're about sixes, they're about the same. But back in the year 1990, these were the two coolest cars in the world. We gotta keep up. Obviously, we have like a lot. Oh, hello. Don't mind us. We have a Countach, we have an F40, and Sophia is talking to the cows. So, as you do. The more time I spend here in Tennessee, the more I realize maybe we need a farm.
We need lots of cows. That
do
I?
I?
Become steak.
No, just cows, no steak. Absolutely no steak. We are driving a Ferrari F40. I can't even begin to describe today. Honestly, getting in the F40 is like a little bit more difficult. Oh, that looks so good on the road. But once you're inside, she's comfy. What is this seat belt? Is there a shoulder harness?
Nope.
Just a lap belt.
Just lap.
How does this contraption? I don't know how it works. So the F40 is way better engineered than the Lamborghini Countach. This car is so much easier to drive. It is so much faster, and I can feel those turbos. They want to kick, they want to kick. I'm just not sure I'm ready for them, at least quite yet. We'll give the Countach a little space. Wait for it, let the turbos hit and go. It's so good. What? That is so sick. F40, baby, for the win. What in the world? What is today even? We drove an LFA Nurburgring, a 458 Speciale, a 2,000 horsepower Lamborghini Gallardo, a 2,600 horsepower Dodge Viper, and now the the Ferrari F40, the most legendary Ferrari of all time. What a day. What a beautiful day. God bless the beautiful state of Tennessee, but there's only one 10 I see. Sophia, you're the only 10 I see. No? Corny? Whatever. So we have some good news and we have some bad news. We have absolutely no fuel whatsoever. I hope we make it back to Gapplebee's. It's so crazy how the F40 and the Countach are like the same era, kind of, sort of, not really, but at the same time they are. The cars could not be more different. The Countach is so dumb. It is such a dumb car, which is what makes it so amazing. Whereas the F40 is an actual like supercar. Like it's actually legit. Like this thing is fast. It's so crazy. Of every single car we drove today, if I had to pick my favorite of the entire group, it's the F40. This car is 35 years old, and yet this is the car. It's just something so iconic about it. The way it drives, the way it handles. It's also extremely comfortable. Like this thing is usable. This is great. We should just drive this back to Utah, you know what I'm saying? And just like the Countach, the fuel gauge is absolute nonsense. Going uphill, we're now at a quarter tank. Like, what happened in the 80s and 90s? Fuel gauges just didn't work. I don't know how else to explain it. Well, we've had some pretty cool views on the channel, but I would reckon 458 Destroyer's garage, it doesn't get much cooler than this. Just the variety of cars. You got the Ferrari row over there, you got all the JDM legends in the back, and then you have that 2,600 horsepower Viper that nearly destroyed me, and of course triple white. What a cool garage. What do you guys think of this lighting too? It's so trippy to look at. Well, you hate to leave, but goodness gracious, a little slice of heaven here in Tennessee. 458 Destroyer. That guy, Ardo, unreal. Okay, so we are driving somewhere in Texas. I don't know, the lighting in that garage is pretty crazy. What do you guys think? Yay or nay for the Batcave? So it's kind of sort of hard to explain right now, but those are my brights. I cannot see. The headlights of the Countach, like we're not going anywhere. I don't know if you guys can tell. We can see like 20 feet in front of us. That's it. It was a long, arduous journey, but welcome to home sweet home. What an absolutely crazy day with Mr. 458 Destroyer. Now, we didn't quite make it to Texas. We didn't even get close to Texas. We drove about 40 miles. I realized at night the Countach is legit impossible to drive. Like, the headlights basically do nothing whatsoever. But what do you guys think about that Viper? I sold the Nissan GTR, the bug killer. Do I buy a Viper and turn the Viper into the Nissan GTR killer? I think that'd be pretty crazy. I've never experienced a car of that magnitude with that sheer level of force, such a violent car. That thing was sick. And on that bombshell, today's video is over.